something we're going to go over, but we're also going to go over, I know I mentioned that we were going to talk about what happens when they try to leave, right? If they do start to escape. We talked about keeping them there, the different types of hooks, control of the hips. But now let's talk about a little bit about what happens when they try to leave, okay? One thing we did talk about that is, I forgot to go over Brody. I know I was like, we're going to go at a thing we looked at, but we never did because we got into these other aspects of it. Top hand hangs, bottom hand hooks, we're holding it here. We also learned that if we hold it up here and we keep it tight, it changes the dynamic, especially if a person tries to roll out that way. If that's the case and he's trying to roll to his left, you don't have to worry about that. You've got this hooked in nice and deep. If your arms are long enough or your opponent is slender enough, you can also get to a submission that when you set them up by allowing them to escape, okay? If I find myself here and he brings his arm across like he's moving it away and we can get this deep, right? For whatever reason, we can then switch to this. Normally when you do a rear naked choke or loop choke or whatever, you put the back of your hand on the back of their neck. I like to put the palm of my hand here because we can lean the head forward into this. At this point, when I have this, CJ still might not feel like, man, this isn't gonna work, right? So as CJ goes to escape, which I'm gonna allow him to escape, as he goes to escape, I'm gonna come up on my knees, I'm gonna drop my left elbow in, and if I have to, I let my body weight sink in. So it's not so much a muscle as it is allowing your body to relax into it. Here, we come up tight, that arm comes over, we slide it in here. Boom, we lock it in. Fingers as deep as you can, right? He comes out, he wants to get out of this, we allow it. We come up, we allow our body weight to sink in. When you're doing chokes, a very nicely, perfectly sunk in choke will get that quick, immediate tap, right? But that is not always the case. While I don't want you to sit there and burn your arms out squeezing on a choke that you might not have, right? You do need to give your choke some confidence and a little time to see if it works, right? Okay, so this will be the beginning and then we'll go into the other ways they escape. This will tie into when they're leaving your back control, how you can recover that, okay? But here, he's defending, we brought it up high, we see the opportunity, we bring it in behind the head. Here, we lock it in, bringing our elbows together. He goes to escape. Notice I turned. You want to try here a little bit to motivate them to go that way. If you can finish, you can finish. But we get here, and I turn, and he goes, no, I'm escaping. So he goes to slide out, right? We can kind of maneuver him up. Adjust as you get up, and pull. A lot of it also works with the elbow coming down on that far shoulder. It helps with this, okay? So first, we're going to get in our position. We're going to give that a shot, see how it goes, play it a little bit, and then we'll go into retaining your back control, even if they're completely gone and their hips are completely out. Yeah. I always feel like the person who has that. Harder? Makes it seem real. We're here, right? I'm keeping good control. And notice he wants to turn. So a lot of times when they go to turn, their arm goes that way, right? So he leans that way, he wants to leave. Here. And I sink it down and back behind it. You put your head here if you like to. And then from here, if you want to give it a shot, you may be able to just rotate and apply some pressure. In my mind, in my jiu-jitsu, I'm using a lot of my back muscle to rotate my shoulder. I'm using a lot of muscle to do this. What can help me do this? Grabbing. You know what I mean? Gravity can help me do this. If I lean to the side, I want to set him up. If you would rather keep this position and get the finish, by all means. For me, I like the strategy of getting him here, letting him go. He moves into the choke. Keep going, take it out. I keep it. I can come up. I can roll over. Notice I put my foot here as a lever. I pull back. Creates more of a lever. The only dangerous part was when he bellied down completely. I had no hooks. If he would have bumped me, there's a good chance I would have been gone, right? So when I normally do this, And it's good that he did that because it shows you if you go with him and roll over and get to the other side, you can still recover it even if it looks like it's going to be dangerous. We all know that if I don't have hooks and I'm on his back, he just has to bump me and I fall off, right? So I always say get your hooks. But in this scenario, we're playing around. We're flirting with danger. We're here. He gets out. I come up. I don't have that danger anymore. He can bump all he wants. And I can be tightening it down as he bumps. Because what happens when he bumps? He opens his neck a little bit. I'm already in there. Squeezing, pulling a little bit, boom, boom, boom. And it'll eventually happen. Let's say you're doing that. I don't want to add too much to this one move, but let's say CJ's here. Let's go through it, see what happens if we don't have that. Guys, if I'm here, he escapes, and I come here. Where did I end up? On top, right? Yeah. I didn't want him to get out, and I didn't want him to move around and end up on top of me. So even as I was losing it, even as I was there, even if I find myself, put your head down, and I'm in here, and it's not happening, well then I'm gonna switch. And I'm gonna end up in a good position before I end up in a bad position, okay? So, with this being the case, give it a try, give it a shot. When they're really slippery, then there's a good chance they just roll out like CJ did. Guys, if it's leaving you, you're losing it, you can tell. Don't just abandon it, be like, oh, dang. Learn to recognize when you're losing this position and end up in the best possible position. Just then, he inserted, I was in top half guard. Well, he could have been in his guard, or he could have swept me, or he could have jumped up on my back, right? If I hadn't been proactive. There's so many different scenarios we could have ended up in. But I'd rather be in top half than being on bottom, right? Like I said, we're flirting with the risk of losing the position when we let them escape. So I wouldn't necessarily do that if we were super slippery, right? If we're dry, or you're in a gi situation and you can get that, you want to do that, fine. But what can you do? You can finish it from the back, right there. Put a little lever on, you can go there if you like. I prefer to be a little sneaky sometimes, so there's an opportunity there for this, okay? Any questions? All right, get your party, get a shot. 1, 2, 3.
Go through like each of the 3 phases, try to finish from the back, and then all scramble.
Okay, let's go. John. Top hand hangs. Hangs. Bottom hand hooks. Way easier than you think. Top hand hangs. Bottom hand hooks. Because if you switch your hands real quick. Now I want you to pull your elbow back and keep that fighting on grip. But here, you're just pulling back on a handle, right? There you go. Tuck your chin, lift that elbow, and really move it right here. Tighter. Now, if he reaches over, can you slide your right arm across underneath his armpit? And now, put it in on your bicep. Put it on your bicep. There you go. Now you're going to drop that far leg. Exactly. And he's going to escape. Get out, get out, get out. Come up. And just pull. Just go ahead and, did you lose it? Go ahead and just drop. Definitely. Good.
It was like on a little bit the whole time, so he was just like.
Alright, you can go. That's good too, don't get me wrong. Straight for the grip, get the grip. The top hand hang and the bottom hand hooks, the regular system. So there you go. It's elbow back. Now, as you roll up, you're going to let that right hook out. Let your right hook fall to the ground. He's going to escape. So if it's slippery, you try this. It's really nice. like I said, it's kind of shoulders the person. Don't turn off the tightness. Like this. I think you're familiar with anaconda choke. Think anaconda choke. So if you take your, you can roll in the once you get that weight, you can make that push down. So that one comes out around.
Yeah, but you know, for me, it doesn't feel like that.
He escapes.
Yeah.
Must be needy.
Yeah.
Once I roll over, it gets real like, yeah.
Again, no, get off of it. There you go. Now,
It's hard with jerk.
you're letting your shoulders grind. So when you get up there, what's your body weight sink in?
Yeah, I started on my knees and then just kicked my feet up.
Let your body weight sink in. It's right in.
Yeah.
Just get there. Me too. That's where you can kind of build your patience up for your choke instead of like thinking it's going to be immediate.
Ear to ear.
It's immediate. Right. So let's expect about 6. After 6 seconds, I'd start thinking, what's my strategy going to be after? Press down and get it tight. And so did you try to hear roll to the knees? That's why this works out. That's why it works out. Sometimes
Just so you know, like,
just as you need. What I'm still one of those things where did you try it without letting go?
Yeah, ear to ear. We were just saying, like, for blue belts, it's this every time. That's what mine was. A lot more.
Yeah, it's a
Home world. That's I was like, I'm breaking that.
I said the same thing. I texted him.
It's miserable.
but
Your arch, all your core strength.
You just sit right up on that. So this one, you know, and now, put your right foot on the side.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Start to turn.
man,
As you turn this way, it's turning in.
now,
As you turn this way, it's pressing. Think of a one-handed grenade and I just pull across with one leg. So that's why I'm up there.
Okay. Got your arm around. You want to try that? Post.
It's right here.
No, I'm just trying to.
I feel like I'm getting stuck.
I get here, and then I'm not like.
Move that over there.
So you should have the top hand and bottom hand hook. Over here. So as soon as this comes across, now you just slide your arm in.
no, and like,
I mean, that's pretty
Down
small.
on the side.
Either way, it's shutting it down. I will say the first one, that you did that's where like my brain's very well.
Did you feel like you're using some good back muscle on that one?
But it would have gone out anyway. When you play me, it's like
When you train it like this, if he starts to escape, I know I can still finish. And if I don't get it, then I can finish. Okay. So, whatever side your rock is on, select and just sit on top of the thighs.
It's like Gumby, so you know.
Ear to ear.
Gotta get that box up just all
yeah, no,
That's tight. Now put your right foot on the side. Do this. Just rotate your body.
So We used to drill that. That's what typical just
Pulling that arm across.
boxing. That's the nerve that
You should be making that choke.
you get hit in the jaw. You have to snaps back and turn around. So you can't fight.
Alright guys, real quick. I know everybody's been looking at that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add a little something I showed a few of you guys to help out. We talked about that back motion, you know, to use a muscle. But if it's good, it works. The reason I say let him go is because what happens if he escapes on his own? And you don't let him go, he just starts to escape. Well, guess what? Now you have a plan, right? But if I'm here and I bring him tight and I get this here, the opposite side can put it on his thigh and I can just start to rotate. Okay? Does use a little bit of back muscle, or I can just turn. If I get this foot across, ooh, that's gonna be nice and easy. Just keep moving. That helps get that finish. If you can do that, awesome. If they start to bail, you have a plan. So, real quick, we're gonna go over this one. I don't think we'll have time for both, but we'll do this one. Guys, when you have someone's back and they push back up on top of you, like such, you know that they're gonna try to find a way to roll. Some people like to go to the weak side, which is the side that does not have the overhook, the hanging hook. The weak side is the right side. So he starts bringing his head up, up, up. He starts walking his head up. That's why it's weak, because he just has to walk out, right? Go back. Then they might turn to the strong side and lay their shoulders on the mat. Try to face you. Boom. Okay. Come back up. Now, what do? When they start to slide away, you don't want that to happen. We call it a false grip. We're going to take it and put it on the neck, and whatever side he's going to, we can go ahead and grab it. And if he's on my thigh, my leg that's being trapped, my leg that's on top, watch what they do. I keep it here, toes into the mat, and I push as I shoot my hips back underneath the bring-in center. Right? We're here. You start sliding to the strong side. I don't want that to happen. I come up, I grab his head. Same thing. Pull him back. Very simple. He slides off, pick his head, go ahead and slide. I hook his head. He's pretty much out. You can slide your hips onto my thigh. Oh, we're here. This foot kind of keeps the connection. I pull tension on his neck as my toes dig into the mat, and then I pull, and I bring him back the other way. Bring him all the way over to his other side, because guess what? I have a strong hook, and we can get into some of those different types of hip controls. Triangle, pressure. Boom. Now we're back here in this back attack. He walks back up onto my back and says, oh no, I'm trying to get out of this, right? He dips his head. I switch. I don't like that. Hook, control, toes, pull, go. I don't like this one. He's trying to scoot his hips down that way. Look at my hand, pull him over. Back to my control. Any questions? Seems simple. This is what it looks like without a CJ. I'm here. He starts going to my leg. Grab his head for control. Toes dig. Pull him all the way over the other side. This hook keeps him there. Body triangle. Feet. Regular hook. Whatever. He starts to rotate that way. Hand. Boom. Hook. Triangle. Pressure. Traditional hooks. However you like it. Little tip that you might not recognize, but it is, every time I hook his head and pull him across, guess which side is the strong side now? The side that he's laying on. He's not laying on the weak side anymore. Because this arm came across, hooked his head, and pulled him. Brought him to the other side. So as we're drilling with our partners, we're here, he pushes up, he picks a side. I hook, pull him all the way over, now I'm here. Boom. Strong side now. Oh no. Hook. Now I'm on the strong side. All right, any questions? All right, let's give it our partners, give a shot on 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice and juicy. Like your plate. morning. How you doing?
Hi. I was here yesterday.
Coach Eric.
Nice to meet you.
Traveling from out of town, first time doing it, or?
Yeah, so I'm coming from Long Island.
Okay.
I train under Matt Serra.
Oh, they told you. Yeah, they said somebody was coming.
Yeah, so I might be here till like next Wednesday. At some point I'm gonna leave to go to Miami, but I'm like super happy that you guys
Found a place,
let
yeah.
me come in here.
Yeah, man, no problem. Did you already sign the waiver online on?
Yeah.
What was your name again?
Sean.
Sean. Nice to meet you, man. Coach Eric. Get with these guys here. We're just going over some back retention stuff. It happens. Yeah. So we're just doing back stuff, nice and easy. How to keep it when they go to leave. They have the false grip and all this stuff. Okay. Good. Good time. Good. Yeah. I mean, it's, once you get your timing down with this, if you recognize that they're leaving, and you can just go ahead and go back and forth, it really helps. So if you push back up on them, because you're like, nah, I'm getting out of this. All the way across. And then one has to be there, and you actually have a moment where you're like resetting everything. You can do that. Matter of fact, when he's here, go ahead and get your grip. Yes. That in if you like to. He said, Coach, what if you don't have a weak side?
My biggest weakness is our
Don't cross those angles. Don't cross angles. So you can body triangle. I like this one. Put the foot on the hip like that. Put this one on your foot. Lift this knee up. Apply the pressure on that. Really good if you try to pull your arm down, where this arm comes below his hip line. Throw that foot over here. But go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't want to add this. Right where you need to be. Right where you need to be. You guys gonna stay? What if you don't have it inside?
Yeah.
I got a joke. I don't imagine just the he took all the gyms and stuff.
Rolled?
Yeah.
Lift up your head.
Yeah.
That's not the line.
Almost at 90 times work. You go again? All fine. That's pretty good, solid plate.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that if you want. They have a pool of people.
Cool. Yeah, hey, for people who have day jobs.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hobby, the word hobby to me is a warm, inviting word. I don't think it's bad at all. I love it. Call me what you will. All right, guys. Any questions on that? Back retention, hold on to it. That's just a few little details. There's some more to come. We're going to do some more things. The one that I spoke about, it's almost like every morning I say I'm going to go over one and I end up not going over it. So the one where their hips are totally away, you still can isolate the head and arm and then retain it, get them back into that back control, will be probably next week or the week after, depending on the next time. All right, any questions about anything? All right, guys, on three, let's get up and about 1, 2, 3.